Picture this. You're sitting in your driveway staring at that shiny piece of metal that's supposed to represent freedom, success, and the American dream. But here's what nobody's telling you. That beautiful machine parked outside your house isn't just transportation. It's a wealth-destroying monster that's quietly devouring your financial future, one monthly payment at a time. Most people think their biggest expenses are their mortgage, maybe their kids' college tuition, or those ridiculously overpriced avocado toasts everyone keeps complaining about. But they're dead wrong. The real culprit is sitting right there in your garage, depreciating faster than your motivation on a Monday morning. My name is Nick, and I spend way too much time analyzing why people stay broke despite earning decent money. If you're tired of feeling like you're running on a financial hamster wheel, going nowhere despite working harder than ever, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button, because what I'm about to reveal will completely change how you think about money. Here's a statistic that should make your jaw hit the floor. Americans currently owe over $1.6 trillion in auto loans. That's trillion with a T. To put that in perspective, that's more than the entire GDP of most countries. We're talking about 108 million auto loans spread across the nation, which means roughly 1 out of every 3 Americans is making car payments right now. But wait, it gets worse, much worse. The average car payment for a new vehicle has skyrocketed to $745 per month. $745. That's more than some people pay for rent. Even used cars are averaging $521 monthly. And here's the kicker that nobody talks about. People aren't paying these loans off quickly. The average auto loan term is now stretching to almost 69 months for new cars. That's nearly 6 years of payments for something that starts losing value the second you sign the paperwork. Think about that for a moment. You're committing to 6 years of payments for an asset that's guaranteed to be worth significantly less every single month you own it. It's like signing up for a gym membership where they promise you'll get weaker and more out of shape with every visit. Generation Z is spending approximately 20% of their after-tax income on vehicle expenses alone. 20%. That's dangerously close to what financial experts recommend spending on housing. Imagine telling someone they should spend as much on their car as they do on keeping a roof over their head. It sounds insane when you put it that way, doesn't it? Since 2019, the average car payment has nearly doubled. In 2019, people were paying around $467 per month. Fast forward just 5 years, and we're looking at payments that are almost twice that amount. Auto loan debt has surged by nearly 64% over the past decade alone. Now, you might be thinking, Nick, cars are expensive, but I need one to get to work, to live my life, to function in society. And you're absolutely right. Most people do need transportation, but here's what's happening. We've been conditioned to think that needing transportation automatically means we need a $50,000 depreciating liability with leather seats and a premium sound system. The real problem isn't that cars exist. The real problem is that we've normalized financial suicide and called it adulting. Let me break down exactly why cars are the ultimate wealth killer. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll never look at that monthly payment the same way again. First, let's talk about the true cost of car ownership, because that monthly payment is just the tip of the iceberg. According to the American Automobile Association, the total cost to own and operate a new vehicle is over $12,000 per year. That's more than $1,000 every single month when you factor in everything. We're talking about gas, which alone costs the average driver about $2,235 annually. Insurance premiums ranging from $2,100 to $2,700 per year. Maintenance and repairs averaging $126 monthly for a new car. And that's assuming nothing major goes wrong, which, let's be honest, something always goes wrong. Oil changes, tire rotations, brake pads, transmission problems, air conditioning repairs, battery replacements. The list goes on and on. Every time you think you got your finances figured out, your car decides it needs an $800 repair that you definitely weren't planning for. But Here's the part that should terrify you. All of these costs, every single penny you spend on your car is money that's gone forever. It's not building equity, it's not generating returns, it's not creating wealth. It's just disappearing into the automotive black hole, never to be seen again. And speaking of money disappearing, let's talk about depreciation, which is where cars really show their true colors as wealth destroyers. A new car loses up to 20% of its value the moment you drive it off the dealership lot. 20%. Before you've even made it home to show off your new purchase to the neighbors, you've already lost thousands of dollars. It's like watching your money evaporate in real time. After 1 year, your car will be worth about 20% less than what you paid for it. After 5 years, most cars lose up to 60% of their value. Let that sink in for a moment. You could buy a $50,000 car today, and in 5 years, it'll be worth maybe $20,000 if you're lucky. The average new vehicle loses about $5,000 in value every single year for the first 5 years. That's $5,000 of wealth destruction annually, and that's on top of all the other costs we just talked about. Some luxury vehicles are even worse offenders. Take the Maserati Quattroporte, for example. This car has an average 5-year depreciation rate of 64.5%, with an average loss of over $90,000 from the original price. $90,000! That's more than most people make in an entire year, just vanished because someone decided they needed Italian luxury to drive to the grocery store. The Cadillac Escalade ESV loses an average of $63,885 over 5 years. The BMW 5 Series Hybrid, despite being a hybrid that's supposedly better for the environment and your wallet, still loses nearly $38,000 in 5 years. These aren't just numbers on a spreadsheet. This is real money that real people are losing, money that could have been invested, saved, or used to actually build wealth instead of destroying it. But here's where it gets really interesting, and this is the part that most people never consider. The opportunity cost of car ownership is absolutely staggering. Every dollar you spend on your car is a dollar you can't invest in stocks, bonds, real estate, or any other asset that might actually grow in value over time. While your car is busy depreciating, that same money could have been working for you, generating returns, compounding, and building actual wealth. Let's run some numbers that will make you question every financial decision you've ever made. Say you're looking at buying a Toyota Corolla versus a Range Rover. The Corolla costs about $27,000 over 5 years of ownership, while the Range Rover sets you back around $118,000. Most people focus on that $90,000 difference and think, well, obviously the Range Rover is more expensive. But they're missing the real story. If you take that $90,000 difference and invest it at a conservative 6% return for 30 years, you'd end up with over $521,000. $500,000. That's the true cost of choosing the fancier car. You're not just spending an extra $90,000. You're giving up $500,000 in potential wealth. And that's just one purchase decision. Most people don't buy one car in their lifetime and call it good. They get caught in the cycle of upgrading every few years, always chasing the latest features, the newest model, the better gas mileage, the improved safety ratings. Here's a calculation that will keep you awake at night. If you buy a car every 5 years throughout your working life, following typical American car buying patterns, the lifetime opportunity cost of those decisions is over $1.9 million. Nearly $2 million in missed wealth building opportunities, all because we've been programmed to think we need a new car every few years. Let me put this in perspective. Imagine if someone came up to you and said, "Hey, I've got this great investment opportunity. You give me $2 million over your lifetime, and in return, I'll provide you with transportation that constantly breaks down, costs you money every month, and becomes worthless over time." You'd think they were absolutely insane, right? Yet that's exactly what most Americans sign up for without even thinking about it. Even if you're more conservative and keep each car for 10 years instead of 5, you're still looking at an opportunity cost of over $1.5 million. Keep them for 15 years and you're still missing out on over $1.3 million in potential wealth. No matter how you slice it, cars are wealth destroyers on a massive scale. Now, let's talk about something that makes this whole situation even more ridiculous, the psychology behind car purchases. Because understanding why we make these terrible financial decisions is just as important as understanding the math. Cars have become status symbols in our society. We judge people by what they drive. We make assumptions about success, personality, and worth based on whether someone drives a beat-up Honda Civic or a brand new BMW. And the car companies know this. They've spent billions of dollars over decades conditioning us to associate our vehicles with our identity. Think about car commercials. They don't talk about reliability or fuel efficiency as much as they used to. Instead, they sell you a lifestyle. They sell you the image of driving through mountain roads with your family, looking successful at the country club, or being the adventurous type who can handle any terrain. They've convinced us that we deserve luxury, that we work hard so we should reward ourselves, that life's too short to drive something boring. Sound familiar? It's the same psychological manipulation that keeps people buying things they can't afford to impress people they don't even like. Here's what really gets me. People will spend months researching the best smartphone to save maybe $200, but they'll walk into a car dealership and sign a contract for $60,000 worth of payments without understanding the true financial impact. They'll negotiate aggressively over the price of a house because they know it's a big financial decision, but they treat cars like they're buying a coffee. The financing industry has made it even easier to make poor decisions. 0% financing, extended warranties, gap insurance, lease deals that sound too good to be true. They've created an entire ecosystem designed to separate you from your money while making you feel like you're getting a great deal. And let's talk about leasing for a moment, because this might be the most brilliant scam ever created. You get to drive a new car, your payments are lower than buying, and you can upgrade every few years. Sounds great, right? Except you're literally renting a depreciating asset. You're paying someone else to lose money on depreciation while you get none of the equity. When your lease is up, you have nothing to show for all those payments except maybe some happy memories and a few Instagram photos. Then you're right back at the dealership, signing up for another lease, starting the cycle all over again. It's like paying rent on an apartment, but never being able to own anything. But here's where the car industry really shows their genius. They've made it so convenient to stay trapped in this cycle. Trade-in programs, loyalty discounts, upgrade incentives, they make it feel like you're missing out if you don't take advantage of these opportunities. Your current car is 3 years old and running perfectly fine. Well, look at all the new safety features on this year's model. Your payment would only go up by $50 a month. That seems reasonable, right? Except you just reset your payment clock back to zero and committed to another 5 or 6 years of payments. The average American will own 13 cars over their lifetime. 13. That's not because cars don't last. Modern vehicles can easily run for 200,000 miles or more with proper maintenance. We replace them because we've been conditioned to want the newest, latest, greatest version of everything. Meanwhile, there are people driving 15-year-old Toyota Camrys with 180,000 miles who are quietly building wealth because they understand that transportation is a tool, not a status symbol. While everyone else is making car payments, they're investing that money and watching it compound over decades. And here's something that should make you angry. Sorry, the people selling you these financial nightmares know exactly what they're doing. Car dealerships make more money on financing than they do on the actual cars. Like, they want you to focus on monthly payments instead of total cost because it makes expensive cars seem affordable. They'll ask, what payment are you comfortable with? Instead of, what's your budget for this purchase? They'll stretch out your loan terms to lower your monthly payment while increasing the total amount you pay. They'll roll negative equity from your trade-in into your new loan, putting you even deeper underwater from day one. The banks love this arrangement because they're making money on the interest. The insurance companies love it because you're required to carry full coverage on a financed vehicle. The car manufacturers love it because they're selling more expensive cars. Everyone's making money except you. But wait, there's more. Because if the math wasn't bad enough already, let's talk about what happens when life gets complicated. You lose your job? Well, you still owe $47,000 on a car that's now worth $28,000. You can't just stop making payments because they'll repossess it, destroy your credit, and you'll still owe the difference. You're financially handcuffed to this depreciating asset, whether you can afford it or not. You get divorced. Now, you're fighting over who gets stuck with the underwater car loans. You have a baby and need something bigger. Time to roll that negative equity into an even more expensive vehicle, digging yourself deeper into the hole. You want to move to a different city for a better job opportunity? Well, you better factor in those car payments when calculating whether you can afford the move. Your car payment follows you wherever you go, limiting your options and keeping you trapped in financial decisions you made years ago. Here's what's particularly insidious about the whole system. They've made it so normal that people don't even question it anymore. Having a car payment is just part of being an adult, like paying taxes or complaining about the weather. When someone pays off their car, the first thing people ask is, so what are you going to buy next? The idea of driving a paid-off car for years and investing the money you would have spent on payments seems foreign, almost irresponsible. We've been programmed to think that if you're not making payments on something, you're not living your best life. And let's address the elephant in the room and the argument that you need a reliable car for work, for your family, for emergencies. This is absolutely true, but here's what's not true. You need a reliable car payment. A 5-year-old Toyota Camry with 60,000 miles is going to be just as reliable as a brand new Toyota Camry. Maybe even more reliable because all the initial manufacturing quirks have been worked out. But one costs $15,000 that you can pay in cash, while the other costs $35,000 that requires 6 years of payments plus interest. The safety argument? Modern safety standards mean that even a 10-year-old car is incredibly safe compared to vehicles from previous decades. You don't need the latest collision avoidance system to protect your family. You need to not be texting while driving. The fuel efficiency argument? The difference between a 2018 Honda Accord and a 2024 Honda Accord is maybe 3 miles per gallon. At current gas prices, that difference might save you $300 a year in fuel costs. Meanwhile, the payment difference is probably $400 a month. We've become experts at justifying terrible financial decisions by focusing on minor benefits while ignoring massive costs. It's like buying a $5,000 suit because it has better stitching, while ignoring the fact that you can't afford groceries that month. Here's what really drives me crazy about this whole situation. The same people making $700 car payments will complain that they can't afford to invest for retirement. They'll say they don't have money for an emergency fund. They'll claim they can't afford to pay off their credit card debt, but they've got $700 a month going to a depreciating asset plus insurance, plus maintenance, plus gas. That's easily $1,200 a month in total transportation costs. Invested at 8% returns over 30 years, that's over $1.4 million in retirement savings they're giving up. They're choosing to stay financially stressed so they can drive something impressive to their job that they hate, so they can afford the car payment that keeps them trapped at that job. It's the most perfect example of a vicious cycle ever created. And here's the part that should make you absolutely furious. The car industry has convinced us that this is normal, that being financially stressed about transportation is just part of life, that everyone has car payments, so you should too. They've normalized financial self-destruction and wrapped it in a bow made of premium leather and heated seats. They've made us accomplices in our own wealth destruction, and we thank them for the privilege by posting pictures of our new cars on social media. Meanwhile, the people who understand money, the people who actually build wealth, are driving paid-off cars that are 5 to 10 years old. Warren Buffett drove the same Cadillac for 8 years. Mark Cuban drove a 1999 BMW for years after becoming a billionaire. They understand that cars are tools, not investments. But here's what nobody talks about, and this is where it gets really interesting. The psychological impact of not having a car payment is almost as valuable as the financial impact. When you don't have a car payment, you have options. You can take risks with your career because you're not trapped by monthly obligations. You can invest more aggressively because you have lower fixed expenses. You can sleep better at night because you're not worried about making payments on a depreciating asset. Look, I'm not saying you need to ride a bicycle to work for the rest of your life or take the bus everywhere you go. What I'm saying is that your car should serve you, not enslave you. The next time you're sitting in that dealership listening to some salesperson explain why you absolutely need the premium package with the moonroof you'll never open, remember this video. Remember that every dollar you spend on that car is a dollar that can't work for you in the stock market, can't build your emergency fund, and can't buy you the one thing money can actually purchase: freedom. Your future millionaire self will thank you for driving that boring, reliable, paid off car while everyone else is still making payments on their financial nightmares.